Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about Survivor 41, episode 5. This is getting real good, Sarah. I'm loving it.
It really is, you guys. Loving it. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And we are on Patreon. You can support us there, patreon.com/Nerdtainment. Link in the description. Join us over there.
With us over there. This was a fun episode.
Yes, it was. I know that I have been vocal about not loving all of these advantages, but I'm starting to enjoy how much it's forcing them to game and like think outside the box. Like for these people who walked in and thought they knew how to play Survivor after 40 seasons, like this is really throwing a wrench in plans, and they're having to like be inventive about the way that they can maybe use these advantages and all of that. So that's been fun.
Yes, and once again, the advantages haven't gone into play, like not being used at tribal, but it is definitely making people think like, okay, what do I do? And I got to do this. And so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It does. I know it feels like a lot, but like, I don't know. It's making them, you said messy before the stream, and I agree.
Yeah, it is a little bit because it's like, it's uncharted territory. So they're like, okay, we'll get to it, but there's this whole plan that, Shan and Ricard cook up about the idol, and they're going to make the fake idol, and they're going to convince Genie that they can say the phrase. It's interesting to watch. It really is.
It's so crazy. Yes, let's get to it because this episode starts with a like day 10 celebration. Genie, she feels solid. These three, so happy to be on the right side of a vote for once.
Yeah, right. She's relieved that JD went and not her. And she feels like, great, I'm in with Shan and Ricard now. Everything's great. And to the point where,
for her to feel this way.
I know. And to the point now where they're like, okay, well, the idol's probably back in play and we all need it. Genie's going on the hunt for the idol for the tribe, right? Not for herself.
The tribe. You are down to 3 people and you feel like this needs to be a tribe idol. I could not believe she finds it and says, I'll leave this right here and we'll discuss this as a tribe. And I was like, what, Genie, I'm sorry, what was this now?
I know. And especially considering how this ended. Yikes. The fact that she's like, I'm going to put it right back. She shows Shan and Ricard, like, here it is, everybody. I've got it. And Shan's like, guys, our votes are so important right now.
Yeah.
Let's not open it.
Yeah.
Which is code for Genie, I don't want you to have it. That's
exactly. Right? Oh my God. Shan and Ricard are 2 of the most strategic players we've seen in a while, and they are sneaky, and they will come for you and they will take your advantages, and here they are saying, yeah, Genie, let's keep it there. And then of course as soon as she's gone, they're hatching a plan, and the 2 of them, I loved it. I loved watching the 2 of them work and negotiate and figure it out. It was insane.
Yeah, it was. And it's not totally devious. Like part of them, it is like, did Genie open it? Like, let's just check to make sure that Genie didn't open it, right? Like there's a little paranoia there for them. But I think mostly they're like, but we want it. Like we want to see if Genie's opened it because we want to open it. And we want that idol.
They're all like, we're going to open it. We're going to put something else in it. We're going to tell her, well, why don't we just tell her that maybe we'll just say the saying anyway? Like they went the extra mile. So I have to disagree with you. It was very devious because there were extra layers that you didn't have to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's this whole thing where Shan takes the idol, then they put something in and tie it back up so that Genie won't know that she has the idol. Then Shan gives the extra vote to Ricard because she knows that if the idol's not activated, she's going to lose her vote. So Ricard needs the extra vote so that they can guarantee that Genie goes home and not Shan. And, then Ricard is talking to Genie and he's like, we were thinking like Shan should just say the phrase. Like we know the phrases, right? Because Brad told us. Brad said it. So why don't we just say it? just to see what else is out there and see who else, maybe has found the idols. And Genie, of course, is like, yes, I'm in with these two now. Yes, it's a tribal plan.
You guys are playing. Yes, I love it. She's like so excited by it. I honestly thought that's what they would have done in the first place. Like, that's what I thought I would do. You already know the rules of the thing, so you don't have to open it. Go to the challenge. If you hear two of the statements, then you could chime in with the third. Yeah. But I think that they weren't sure it was going to be the same sentences, right?
Sure,
they were like,
right.
oh, it is. Okay, it is the same broccoli thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, great gaming happening over there. Let's jump over to Luvu now, where Sydney is a fishing mermaid. And Danny and Deshawn are once again trying to throw it to get Erica out, but they're looping in Nasir this time.
Yeah, I mean, it's this narrative of like, ooh, the men, every week we come in and there's another man gone, right? So maybe if another guy is gone, which there will be another guy gone because JD was voted out at the end of the last episode. Happened. But if they walk in and it's another man gone, like maybe we should throw it to get rid of one of these ladies on our tribe, balance it out going into the merge, right? But they do want to tell Nasir, and Nasir's like, no, I do not want to throw. I will not do it. To the point where Danny's like, oh, well, maybe we should throw it and get rid of Nasir. Because if he's not going to play along, then maybe we can get rid of him.
I know. I was like, I was Nasir because Nasir's like, hey, they're talking to me. They're talking to me. Okay, great. I'm involved. I'm loving this. And I was there feeling that too. But then they're like, he doesn't really want to throw it. I don't know. Do we want to work with him?
Exactly. Right. If we can't control him, is he valuable to us? Okay, let's do it.
Oh my gosh. So sad and cute. But you know what? We don't need a lot of info over here. So we're going to jump over to Yasa.
Yes.
Where Evie is working on Xander because she is perfectly placed, or I apologize, I believe Evie goes by they. They are perfectly placed with the trio, but also with Xander.
Yes.
So working heavily on Xander up here at the top of this.
Yeah. I think the editors are really working hard to try to like paint a picture where maybe Evie is in danger with Liana and Tiffany, right? Because there's this conversation where Tiffany is saying to Liana, while Evie's away with Xander, kind of like securing his loyalty, Tiffany's now saying, I don't know about Evie. She seems real close with Xander. And then, there's this whole thing of like, well, we got to go through Xander's bag because we know he has these advantages because Evie told us he has these advantages, but we need to know this information. Liana, go look through the bag. And Liana is like, this is what I've been waiting for. Like, this is my survivor moment. So she's like ready to dig through. And it's, great editing where we're like getting Evie and Xander at the well. And they're saying like, maybe we should tell the women about your advantages, while Liana's like, okay, these are the phrases. This is the extra vote, looking over her shoulder. And Tiffany's like trying to keep a lookout. It's a very fun segment here.
It was interesting to see because it did seem like Liana was or like maybe Tiffany is pulling Liana closer to her as opposed to Evie. It did look like that. So I wonder if there truly is some concern and some paranoia, suspicion around Evie. But ultimately, this is all going to backfire on Xander because Xander doesn't want to tell Liana, just wants to tell Tiffany. But he does not say it all truthfully, and unfortunately Tiffany already has the information.
She already has the information. So but then she didn't necessarily need the information because he gives her the information, right? Because he's sure of Tiffany. He's like, I'm going to tell Tiffany because I feel really good about Tiffany. Meanwhile, Tiffany's the one who's after Xander, right? So he shows her all the advantages. She reads all the information. She didn't need to necessarily already know it for her to say, wait a minute, you already said this phrase. And you told me that you found this advantage this morning. But
today?
You've already said this phrase at 2 previous tribals. That doesn't add up. And so then he's like, well, when I said this morning, what I meant was I found it several days ago. But you can forgive me for telling a lie, right? And she's like, yeah, sure. I mean, it was great because Tiffany's like making all of these faces to camera and to the producers, like while Xander's bending over into his bag.
She's like,
She's like, oh,
in front
Xander.
of him. I was like, girl, you are brave. Thank you so much for the super sticker.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that. But here's the thing, is because Tiffany kept asking for more information. I think if she didn't know, maybe she would have just said, oh my God, you found the idol. Oh my God, that's so cool. But she was like, show me all the notes. What else you got in the bag?
Yeah.
Where's
right.
the letter it came with? Like, she asked a
Uh-huh.
lot of questions that I don't know that everybody asks that. And that's really what got him caught up in his little fib.
Right.
And yeah, her just like, he's standing right there. And she's like,
yeah,
to the camera.
Can you believe this guy? Like, she's basically like, Xander's a joke, right? Everybody's seeing this. It
didn't work then, I guess, because I was like, well, maybe this will make her feel like he wants to work with her. No, she doesn't care. Okay.
No.
Well, let's go to this immunity reward challenge here, because once again, we're going to have some crazy talk.
I know. Well, first, Jeff sets it up. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh, this is the hottest place in Fiji, if not the entire earth.
This
everybody
spot right here. This is
and
it.
Ooh, today. I mean, I'm feeling it. And Shan's like, ooh, I am feeling it, Jeff. And Ricard's like, I mean, this woman's a vegan and she thinks everything is food. And Shan's like, I mean, the trees, they look like broccoli. And so I thought broccoli are small trees. Like, it is a stretch. Like, this is the best you could come up with for how to throw out broccoli as small trees.
Oh my God. And with Ricard helping you, it's like a team effort over here to get this ridiculous statement out. But then Xander's like, oh, that's my cue.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, because Ricard's like, I mean, this dude said something about ladybugs, and Xander's like, actually, what I said was butterflies are a dead relative saying hello. And then Sarah, every time now I think of you because I know you're eating this stuff up, and I'm like, no, another tribal where Luvu has not found their idol, and we get Jeff. Nasir jumps in.
Oh, David, I was dancing. I was jumping for joy. This edit gave me life. This was the best because we're all like, oh my God, here they are saying it again for no reason. And Nasir's like, yes, goats and astroturf. And then boom, we get the reveal. Oh,
I was like,
beautiful.
No, Nasir found it. And they show us the whole flashback of him finding it the day before. But I have to say, like, it is so perfect for Nasir, who's like ESL, right? Like, English is his second language. And these are challenging phrases to organically into conversation if English is your first language. Like, this poor guy tries to make it come off as naturally as possible, but he's fully like, I am as confused as a goat on AstroTurf. Like, it's so clunky coming out of his mouth. But he's just such a sweet, earnest person that you'll love him.
So adorable. Yes, I loved it so much. And you could I was wondering why we kept cutting to Nasir, because his eyes are like, okay, I'm going to have to say it. This is my moment.
Yes.
And then, oh God, it was so good.
It was amazing.
I loved it so much. And I really appreciated the editors sneaking it in that way and setting us up like that.
Yes.
It was so, so good. Okay. So now the idol's in play, guys. Everyone has their votes back. 3 people have said it. We are done. We don't have to say it anymore. Sad. But this challenge, we're going to climb some rope. We're going to go over a thing. We're going to unravel a rope for a key. We're going to have coconuts and throw at targets. Yes.
Right.
Great.
So we've got to sit out 3 people from Luvu here. So Erica, Heather, and Deshawn are sitting out Luvu. Tiffany sits out Yasa. It's 3 versus 3 here versus 3 because Ua is just dropping like flies. So pretty physical, rope obstacle. They've got to do the little maze.
Yeah, Nasir's going to get us in the lead.
Yeah, right.
up until the end there. But Ricard and Xander do sort of like get right there behind him when they are
Mhm.
starting to do the last part, which is
Yeah.
tossing down the target. There was some really great slow-mo here.
That shot of Ricard, he looked incredible. I was like, Ricard, you are watching this back and you're like, ooh, even if I lost this challenge, which I will end
Did.
up losing
Yeah,
this challenge, I look incredible firing this
incredible.
coconut, this sandbag at one of the targets.
It was shot so beautifully. I love this whole thing. But already before this happens, Xander has taken them from last place to winning. They win
Yeah.
immunity
Well,
because of
because here's
his
like
tossing.
as soon as Nasir was up front with Luvu, I'm wondering, are they throwing it? Because that's the setup
Right.
that we got in the tribe check-in at Luvu. So I'm
Yeah.
like, are they gonna throw it? But they pretty quickly, to me, it was like, oh no, they're like missing by not a lot. Like they're almost hitting a target here. So it seems like they are aiming deliberate here. Even when Danny
Mhm.
swapped in, like when Nasir got out, I was like, ooh, now Danny's in. Like, is he going to try to throw it? But he's like just
Right.
barely missing as well. So they are not throwing this one.
But I don't think it matters because Ua's going to do their
Oh,
best to never win. Oh
to
boy.
never win.
But like we said, the slow-mo shot here when Ricard misses, and like we get to see it, he almost had it. Like the thing is shaking. It
Yeah.
doesn't fall down, but then Nasir is going to go ahead and be like, got it, boom, done.
Yeah.
They get the
Mhm.
second, and that means Ua is going to tribal again. And we still have good slow mo here with like Shan just like,
Oh,
like the utter,
yeah.
just like, we are being decimated, this
Right.
tribe.
Because it's not just like, let's not forget, it's not just that they keep losing and having to go to tribal. They keep not having flint. Like they can't build a fire. Their lives are miserable at camp day after day after day. But there's like a little silver lining, I guess, where they have to send two people. Yasa, as the winning tribe, has to send two people on a journey. So there's like an opportunity for another reward here, another kind of advantage. They pick Shan to go from Ua, and then they pick Liana to go from
Their own
Yasa.
tribe. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to choose from Ua. The second one could come from their tribe or Luvu, and they choose to send Liana. And this isn't horrible. I mean, when you're down to 3, you don't want someone away from camp for the whole day.
Mhm.
But Shan's in a decent spot, so it's not the worst thing for her. And she's
Right.
really excited to connect with Liana. And honestly, me too.
Me too. And Liana's excited to connect back because they're the
Yes.
two Black women in this game, right? And so Shan has like kind of had her eye on Liana and is saying like, I have wanted to connect with her, and they are bonding immediately as women of color.
Immediately. Yes. They are
And
like, girl, we're going to work together, but we are not going to let anyone know. We will play this down.
yes,
Even during merge, they
uh-huh.
will assume it. So do not let them know about it.
Right. And they're like swapping information as like signs of trust. Shan tells Liana that she has an idol. Liana's like, so does Xander, and he has the steal a vote. So they're just like bonding on like a personal level
Yeah.
and cementing that with game information. Like this is a real duo.
This personal level.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shan. I mean,
I know.
we already had the information that Shan had to choose her parents.
I know.
Then apparently it got worse.
Yeah.
Her relationship with her mom, she goes into foster care?
Yeah. Her
Oh my God,
relationship
this
with her
whole
mom
story.
fell apart. She like didn't talk to her mom for like 5 years or something.
No, she didn't
And
talk to her for years. It was only the last 5 years of her life
Oh,
that
that
they
she
did
came
talk.
back. Oh my God. And then the mom
Oh,
died, right?
yes.
I mean, good grief. And you know, Shan is obviously getting emotional. It's an emotional story. And she's realizing, like, oh my God, I've been on the beach for 10 days with Ricard and Genie. Love them. They're great. But I have not had this moment with them. And I've been with them for 10 days. And Ricard is my number one, you know, and it's just never gotten to this place. One afternoon with Liana, and here we are crying in each other's arms because Liana's like, there's nothing like your mom. Like she's also crying, you know, she's very teary.
She's like, your mom has passed. Oh my God. Like that immediately takes it. And yeah, I really do think that this really helped them bond. Like they really did connect in this.
Yeah.
But like you said, they got that game happening. Shan makes it clear, like, if I don't make it to the merge, then Ricard crossed me because
Right.
he's my number one. Keep that in
Right.
mind. Like, this is just good info to have.
Yep.
They talk about like she can't afford to lose her vote. You want the advantage. You need an advantage. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like so many signs of trust going back and forth here that like I imagine that this is a duo we are going to see come together at the merge and like, you know, make some moves, hopefully. But really strong connection between the two of them right away. And so Shan does follow through with she's protecting her vote. Liana risks it. And then we get to see Liana get her power when she's, you know, back at camp, and she gets the knowledge is power advantage. And this is just like this story has connected so perfectly, obviously. Thank you, producers. Yeah. But, you know, she's learning about Xander's advantages that he has in his pocket at the beginning of this episode. And now she gets this advantage that allows her to ask one player, do they have an advantage or do they have an idol? And if they do have an advantage or an idol, they must give it to Liana in that moment.
Okay, this is really powerful or pretty darn amazing to have. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of risk there. She's not losing her vote or anything like that. She just needs to know who has the advantage. And this is why you don't tell people things.
Yeah.
Because now there might be something out there where, oh, guess what? Now she knows, and she knows exactly who to ask. If she didn't know, and she asked the wrong person, she gets nothing. And she only gets to ask one person the one question. But she knows exactly who has the advantage or slash the idol. And so she can ask him that, and she can then have the idol. Holy smokes. I like it.
I like it too. Yeah. And I think this is one we're going to see used. Like you said, we haven't seen really any advantage come into play yet because a lot of them haven't really been activated yet, like the idols and whatnot. But this one, like, I don't see any reason not to use it. She's not working with Xander. She's going to try to steal one of his advantages and then vote him out of the game, you know?
Right. I do believe it does have to go down at tribal, which means it's got to be public. That's the only downside is because she's going to take an idol publicly and then they will know. But I assume she's only going to do that if she needs to play the idol in that moment.
I mean, best case scenario is for her to do that while it's just like hopefully before the merge and it's just Yasa at tribal. So she can scoop one of his advantages. Then it's just, you know, Evie, the trio, Evie, Tiffany, and Liana, who would know that Liana now has the idol. And, you know,
well, then Xander can't use it. You know, like even if they now know she has the idol, she blocked him from using it, and then they can vote him out immediately.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. We got to strategize. Right. Shan's not there.
No. So Ricard and Genie have to like at least, you know, put up appearances that they are pitching each other.
Exactly. And Ricard, I think, enjoys, you know, playing the game, adding these little extra layers. He's like, let me really sell it. Let me massage this story with Genie. Make sure she's really on board for this fake plan so that he can blindside her.
Yeah.
You know, Shan's so dangerous. Shan this, Shan that. Can't trust Shan.
And you know what?
Is the time. Get her out.
Shan's taking credit for everything I'm doing. Like, these are really my moves, and Shan's out here claiming they're hers. So she's too much of a threat, Genie. I think she's got to go. And Genie's, you know, she's kind of playing the Xander game here where she's like, I mean, if it's not Shan, it's going to be me. So sure, I'll write Shan. Like, you don't have to tell me twice. Yes.
Yeah. She's all like, yeah, Ricard, music to my ears, loving it. And then to us, she's like, but I'm with Shan and we're voting out Ricard.
Yeah, right. She's like, I cannot trust that snake. So I will be voting him out tonight.
I loved hearing her say that. But I was like, Genie, I don't know about that. But then Shan does show up on the beach and, you know, she's like, I know you guys have been talking. She's like, but I got to talk to you guys too. And they all decide we're all just going to do one-on-ones. It's down to 3 people. What are you going to do?
Right.
Let's do some Big Brother here. One-on-ones for everybody.
Exactly.
And it does seem like maybe Shan got like a little worried here.
Oh, she did. Because Genie flat out tells her, like, Ricard pitched to me to vote you out.
Sure.
Like, he brought it up. So just so you know, like, Genie is obviously gaming here, but I think she's able to tell the genuine truth. Like, Ricard is the one who initiated this conversation about voting you out. So she's planting those seeds of doubt, right? And they do sprout very quickly in Shan's mind here, because there's so much going on, because her idol is activated now, so she knows that. So that's great, but obviously she wants to save the idol.
Yeah.
And now Ricard is holding on to that extra vote that she gave him. And
now this is interesting.
Oh boy.
Okay. Shan's like, and this is genuine. They could have tried to blindside her. That's true.
Yes.
She knows Ricard is a good player. He's smart.
Yep.
She knows how he thinks. He could take this opportunity to take her out. That's accurate. So her considering that valid, and so she thinks, well, then I need to try to do to him what they did to JD. Get everything back that I rightfully stole already.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully he doesn't try to boot me out then. But I'm sorry. He's at your level. He's not at JD's level.
No.
Miss Shan. He's like, no. What? Why would I do that?
So what this actually feels like, Shan, is that you're trying to orchestrate a blindside of me. That you're trying to get the extra vote back so that you can have all the advantages and take credit for all the advantages, and then you send me home. Like, why do you need it back for this? No, if you trust me, then let's just vote out Genie, and I'll give you back the advantage tomorrow.
Honestly, I would have done the same thing. No, I'm not giving it back to you. Only idiots do that. I don't play that way. It did sound like Shan was about to blindside him, and she was scooping everything back. Watching the both of them almost at just like a standoff, because they're like,
I know.
No, I'm trying to manipulate you. No, I'm trying to manipulate you.
No,
well, I'm not doing that.
Like, Shan is trying to get him to own the move, right? So she's like, so you're saying you're not giving it back to me? And he's like, well, this just feels like a weird conversation to be like, he will not answer it direct. Like, the answer is yes, I am not giving you the advantage. But he's like, I'm gonna maneuver around that. I'm gonna dodge that because you're trying to like place some kind of blame on me, when in reality, we must acknowledge that it's fishy that you're asking for this vote back. If you really trusted me and we were together and we were each other's number one, we've always been number ones together. Why do you need it back right now?
Yeah.
He's like, if you're nervous, play the idol and let's vote out Genie.
Exactly. And that's a great thing to say. She's like, I want to save it. He's like, well, obviously, but like, I'm not coming for you. So go ahead, use it then if you're so worried. I really enjoyed watching. I was like, God, both of them are so smart and like so on top of this game. Imagine the possibilities if they had not been on UA.
I know. And here's what's interesting, truly, if they had not been on UA. Shan never really becomes a target, right? Like, despite this, like, are we really together kind of uncertainty with Shan and Ricard? Like, Ricard could have gone to Genie and said, like, made another pitch. Like, listen, I just had the weirdest conversation with Shan. And just so you know, she has the idol. She lied to you. It's activated now. And she's trying to get this extra, like, he could have gone to Genie and made a harder pitch to try to get out Shan.
True.
But we go into Tribal with this confessional from Shan, where she is once again in the power position, where, first of all, I'm wondering, is she going to play the idol? She's got that.
Right.
But then she's also like, am I going to go with the guy I've been with all along, who's a little bit shady and a really good player? Or am I going to go with this woman that I have and know that I can trust? Like, she is in the middle. She's so good.
And like they say in Tribal, like, she's in this power position in this seat in the middle here, but like, she was the one gone all day from camp.
Yeah,
she should not be in this power position. She should feel so unsafe. And I know she's a little worried, but like you said, like, it is really not her name on plan to come up at all here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, she doesn't know that. And I did see some people tweeting out, like, you know, vote this way, do this, do this. Like, she doesn't have all the information that we
That's
have
right.
here.
That's right.
So the three of them sitting at this tribal was hilarious and so tense. And like, you genuinely are not sure which way this is going to go. They're all telling each other the same yet different things.
It's a tribal dynamic that we have not seen on Survivor in seasons and seasons and seasons. This is a final three dynamic, right? Like, I cannot remember a time since you and I have been covering Survivor that we have seen a tribe go down to 3 people. They're always doing a swap and mixing it up.
Yeah.
But this is such a delicate tightrope to walk in this situation, because you just got to get one other person to vote with you.
Yeah.
And you can't trust either of them. You know, like, we just have not seen this kind of a tribal in a long time. So it was really interesting to see play out.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it because it could have gone a few different ways, honestly. But I think it went the way that it should have gone. I think it went the right way.
Right.
We don't see anyone play an idol.
We do not.
So Shan is not that worried about her safety. And we don't see anyone roll their die. So I think Genie got pretty darn snowed.
She did. I know. I mean, Shan made a comment about, well, Jeff brought up the die, right? Like, Jeff, I think they kind of like got exhausted in the tribal in the middle of it. And Jeff is like, okay, well, what now? I mean, we could vote at any time, but what about the die, right? Like, he's like bringing it up. And, you know, Shan is like, yeah, you know, it's one of those things that you really want to save until your back is really against the wall. And they cut to Genie's face where she's like, you know, I am really against the wall here. Like, the facial expression suggests maybe she's considering playing this, you know, shot in the dark, but nobody does end up playing it. But it's just such an interesting, like, the power is shifting. It feels like the power is shifting live in this tribal, you know, with Ricard at the beginning kind of calling out Shan about, like, Shan's my closer. She, like, you know, seals the moves that I want to make. And Shan's like, okay. And Genie's,
I was like, Ricard, are you telling her that you make all the moves? Because that's not
what he's saying. Yeah, I know.
In the tribal.
And Genie's just kind of framed as this, like, very honest person. And then Shan's in the power position, but Shan doesn't want to be in the power position. And maybe she can't trust these two people. It just was like such a fun tribal. But like you say,
it was.
No advantages played at the end of the day.
No, nothing, guys. No advantages are being played here. We see a Genie vote and a Ricard vote. We knew that we were going to have one of each. Then just which way did Shan go? And Shan decided to stick with her strategy, brother Ricard, and she votes out Genie. And Genie's like, wait, what? I thought we were together, girl.
Yeah.
No?
They're like, love you, Genie. But no, we were not together. And it did. As soon as it went down, I was like, you know, the devil works hard, but the Survivor editors work harder. And they really made us think that maybe Shan and Ricard were not going to vote together.
Look, because they're such good players, I absolutely buy that they were like, are you about to come after me? Am I about to come after you? Like, what should I? Is this the time I'm supposed to make this move?
Yeah.
But one thing I do enjoy about Ricard is he doesn't fall for the paranoia.
That's
like,
right.
We saw that earlier when Shan was like, we got to get rid of JD. And he was like, no, I'm with JD.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever was the other person is going to go instead.
Brad, right.
And I think that was kind of what happened here too, of like, I'm working with you and riding with you. I'm not going to get swept up into paranoia. I'm going to stick with the plan.
Right. Yeah, but I respect him because Shan's a power player, right?
Yeah.
She had Brad wrapped around her finger, JD, then Genie. Like,
Genie.
they all trusted her. And Ricard trusts her, but he responds differently to the power dynamics that she's trying to, you know, play on him. And he stands up for himself. And he's like, I'm with you, but we're equals. You're not going to, like, become the alpha in this situation. We are peers and we are working together. I am not your little follower. And I respect that.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's the same way. She's not going to, I mean, honestly, she's in such a great position now whenever we do merge or whatever the heck is about to come up this week because they tease that it's gonna be a merge, but then he's like, nope,
Okay, because I missed the preview. So what
nothing.
happened? Because to me, they have to do something. You can't send
No. Two
Shan
people to
and
tribal.
Ricard to tribal together, right? So there's got to be a swap, or maybe Yasa and Ua will merge and compete against Luvu, right? So we'll have 6 versus 6. But I missed the preview.
Maybe.
You tell me what they teased.
Well, that's all Jeff says, drop your buffs, and they all go merge. And he goes, well, and then they're like, this is new. This has never happened before. So it is not a merge,
Right.
but not a swap if it's never happened before.
And maybe it is those two tribes just combining then. So Luvu stays intact, but we've got Ua and Yasa joining forces to even the playing field.
Very, very, very possible. That would be interesting because Shan and Liana would be put together. And what I was trying to say was that Shan is in a pretty good position that Ricard does not have. So even though those two are strong and working together, once more players get involved, Shan's social game is beautiful. And, you know, they could work together to the end, or they could maybe not so much.
Yeah, no, I mean, if that were a thing, just like my gears are turning and like, what are the possibilities? Like if those two tribes merge and then they end up going to tribal, which in all likelihood they would because Luvu just can't lose. But I would see Shan leveraging that relationship with Liana. I mean, Xander's already a target. Like Xander's the one who I would see going, right? Liana's going to get one of his advantages. They're going to boot him from the game. And then you've got this interesting thing where Liana's with Shan, who's with Ricard, but Liana's also with Evie and Tiffany. And like, what's that power struggle like? You know, is Evie more powerful or is Shan more powerful to pull Liana onto their side?
Right. Well, but if Shan and Ricard were, you know, by themselves with the other group, I feel like if they were going to vote out one of Shan or Ricard, Shan will be able to save herself, and then it would be Ricard if it comes down to that. If not a Xander situation. That would be interesting. But yeah, we don't really know. I mean, we know it's not a merge. So not sure exactly what is coming next week, but I really enjoyed watching Ricard and Shan, and I really enjoyed some of these like slow-mo and extra editing things that we got tonight. I just was loving the whole episode. Fully.
I mean, these people are here to play, which is like fun to see. And, you know, I mean, Luvu, I would say like, oh, this was another great point that they made up that they brought up at Tribal was that like Luvu doesn't know how to play this game. Nobody this season knows how to play Survivor better than us three because we have been to the most tribals. Our relationships are so much more locked in, you know? So that is like an interesting dynamic to consider moving forward. But from these tribes that we have seen go to tribal, like the gameplay has just been such a joy to watch. Like they really are thinking, you know, they're not just sitting by and like going for the easy vote. They're always considering every option, making backup plans. Like I'm just really enjoying it a lot. And this episode, I think especially kind of was one where I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like this season feels unique in a way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So Kathy, he does have two advantages. He has the idol and he has the extra vote. But what Liana will say is, do you have an idol? And he will have to say yes, and she will then have the idol.
Or she could say, do you have an advantage? Which would be the extra vote. And he would have to give her that.
Why would she want that?
No, but I'm just saying like she has either option, but it's just one or the other. She couldn't get both things from him. But yeah, she would absolutely scoop up that idol.
Yeah, if he only had an advantage or there wasn't an idol in play, then yes, she would phrase it like, do you have an advantage? And he would say, yes, here you go. You know, that kind of thing. I can't wait to see if that happens. I mean, I do want some advantages to come and play. I'm down for it. I'm okay with it. But it's so interesting that, like you pointed out at the top of this video, it's making them play a little messy, a little
Yeah.
harder because they're working around these advantages, but the advantages have not gone into play. So
Right.
it's an
They're certainly
interesting.
affecting the gameplay, but
Mhm,
not by being used. So they're affecting it by
mhm.
not being used, by being out there. People have these advantages. What are we going to do about that? So it's
Right.
great.
And we have talked about what Ricard was saying. You want to go to tribal. If you don't ever go to tribal, you're really missing out on part of this gameplay and you're at a
Yeah.
disadvantage come later. But at the
Yep.
same time, you have a numbers advantage. So,
Yeah. But you're not testing loyalties. Like
right.
Luvu will go into that first tribal like, well, we think we have each other's backs, but it's never come down to a vote before. So
Yeah.
I'm not totally sure. Whereas Shan and Ricard, if they don't know that they have each other at this point, like God help them, you know?
Right. No, this vote especially tested that. They should
Yeah.
know. Dolores, you're right. The fact that Liana basically knows everyone who has an idol because they had to say those ridiculous phrases.
Yeah.
If she's no longer with Xander or if somebody else joins that has that she knows has the idol, she could steal it
Hmm.
from them. Yeah. She has a little bit more
Absolutely.
information.
Yeah, that's true. She could steal it
Well,
from Shan, you know?
yeah. Yeah, she should know if she was paying attention. She should know all of those
Yeah.
the people who said the phrases.
Yeah.
Well, I am behind on our
I
draft
noticed.
points.
I
I
noticed. But
will
that's okay.
get
Because
to
like
that
I'm just gonna have
tonight.
to watch 2 players from my team get eliminated.
Oh shoot, did you lose 2 players?
JD and Genie. Yeah. Those were
Yeah.
mine.
Well, great. I didn't lose anyone. So good.
Yeah.
I will get those points together so we know that I am kicking butt
You
officially.
are. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, guess what, you guys? There was a bachelorette premiere this week, and David, we will be talking about it tomorrow.
We will. I don't even want to say anything because I have thoughts
Oh, well, I haven't
about
watched it yet. So,
everything
yes,
that went down. Yeah.
that we will talk about tomorrow. All of David's thoughts for
Yes.
Michelle, our new bachelorette.
Yep.
That will be on Thursdays moving forward. Obviously, Wednesdays is still Survivor. And then on Mondays, we will have our rankings, more Survivor content on Mondays with some special guests popping in for that. So, you guys, like always, please make sure you've got that bell notification happening. And don't forget to like this video on your way out. I would appreciate it.
That's right. That's right. And if you guys are joining us later, not watching us live, make sure you leave us a comment, please. That helps the channel as well. And we want to hear your thoughts
Please sure
about
do.
Shan and Ricard's gameplay this episode. So much going on there. This relationship now with Liana and Shan, and just sort of like generally, who do you have your eye? We always want to know, like, who do you think is best positioned? Because we're doing these ranking videos each week, but like, our thoughts there are going to change. So we want to hear who you guys are focused on right now.
Yes, those rankings will change constantly.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, everyone who was here live. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.